Kids and Cadets 2013 Honda. We have the HRR 2169 Victor Kilo Alpha. It's got the GCV 160 2013 model year. So the deal is I paid $20 for this. It was a package deal. Scrapper had showed up recently with this 86 Snapper. We did a couple of videos on this fine machine. I have to order a diaphragm kit for the carb. It did run on full choke. After I cleaned the carb and got rid of the brown fuel in the tank. So this was the second half of the deal on this GCV. So just started looking at it. I kind of forgot when he unloaded it, there was no plug, and that was a concern when it was on his trailer. I thought, what's going on? No plug. Has somebody been messing with this? So I grabbed another plug out of a GCV 160 engine that the same scrapper sold me this past summer. It was all in pieces. He couldn't get it to run, so he just gave me a whole box of parts, the block and everything, carburetor. So I stole the coil off it just now, thinking we may have an issue with the coil. I went to check spark with this plug, and we had no spark, dead spark. I removed the recoil just now, and I cleaned up the coil that was on it. There was a bunch of rust buildup. I cleaned up the flywheel, regapped it, and we got spark now. I just checked it. We got spark on this thing, so I got a backup coil here anyway from that other machine. So I'm not sure what the deal was. If it quit out on them, they took the plug out, threw the plug away, and then put this to the street. I'm not sure, but we have spark now. So let's move on with the project. Let's check the tank. I've got my turkey baster. Let's see if we've got raunchy fuel. Other issue is with this thing is I went to put a little ATF down the cylinder when I first started looking at it. To lube it up, I figured this has been open to the air. I wanted to try to break stuff free, and there was a dirt gobber had built a nest in the opening of the head here. So I took some compressed air, blasted the dirt gobber's nest out. So this thing's been sitting a while, if they've made a home. It doesn't roll backwards very good, so I know there's some rust here on the axle. That's a known thing with these. If they don't want to pull backwards, the axle's rusty from sitting. So oiled up the recoil when I had it off. It's got oil, and it looks like it's new oil. It's nice and golden brown. So not a bad 2013 came with the bag. You can see it was sitting under a tree somewhere. We got a lot of pine needles and oak leaves. Sitting in the sand or the dirt. No air filter and cover. I don't think it came with one. Fuel is on the on position. They didn't turn it off. tank is bone dry, so maybe that's going to help us. Let's see, what do we got? We got a little weeping here on the carburetor, so we may drop the bowl here after we put some fuel in it. I got fresh fuel. I shouldn't have put the cap back on if we're going to fuel it. I guess I like removing fuel caps. So maybe it was a no spark issue. Like I said, I just cleaned up some of the surface rust, or who knows, maybe that was an issue that developed from sitting outside under a tree, that rust. Maybe it was a dirty carb that killed it, and the no spark issue came later. Okay, there's enough fuel in it. Fuel valve is on. Let's just go ahead and pull it over and see if it does anything for us. What do you say? Oh yeah, there's some rust back here where the looks like the frame might have been touching some dirt. There's some rust, or this thing was near a pool, maybe. That looks like chlorine rot. If you've ever seen the back of a pool truck, it's like it's been in northern Michigan. Salt or chlorine. Okay, did I put the plug back in? Yeah, I did. And we're not getting anything. Got fuel. It's kind of pulling over a little easy. Okay, let's juice it. Got some Super Tech Carb Clean. I'm just gonna blast. Okay, the throttle's gummied up shut. So let me stick a screwdriver in. Okay, I just broke that free. That was gummied up somehow with something or other. Okay, looks like we're going to need a carb clean if it's that gummy. Okay, I squirted right into the throat. Let's see if it kicks off. It did. Okay, so we'll concentrate on a carb clean on the 2013. Use that air filter cover from the other machine, the dead machine. Okay, we got fuel leaking out of this carb. Let me turn the fuel valve to off so we don't lose any more fuel. Okay, let me turn this thing around, grab a 10 millimeter open end wrench and just drop the bowl, because it's starting to weep out of the bowl right now. And it doesn't want to pull backwards. So I got to address the transmission. Let me get you guys organized. Get me organized. And I'll grab a 10 and throw a Georgia Bulldog's rag down there to catch any gasoline that may drip out. Okay, now we're cooking with fire. I'm going to come down here, remove the bowl. that's good. I got my chrome vanadium open end here. HEY Co. Germany, Heiko. Got a 10 and 11 open end here. Okay, gas is pouring out of the bottom, removing the bowl nut. So yeah, there is some goobers, some rusty rust right there, if you could see that. Let me just scrape that out by hand. You can see where the gas was weeping out here. Left a stain. You can see the nut's got a little bit of discoloration. I look at that. Gives you a good indication of what you're dealing with. Let me turn the fuel valve to on, run some gas through it. A carb clean would not hurt this thing. There's a little bit of shellac down here. What I can do is try blasting some carb clean into the jet from the bottom and try to get away with something. Okay. If I can bend my red tube up enough, blast some carb clean in here. Okay, set that down. We still have shellac up here on the throttle, brass throttle plate. Okay, that's probably not going to do anything, but I'm going to put it back together and see. At least it fired off. We know our spark issue was corrected. So we're down to carburation. So kind of weird how this thing showed up without the plug. Sometimes you'll get a machine and there's multiple issues with it. You end up going down a rabbit hole of problems. Sometimes there's a rattlesnake den in one of your rabbit holes. Okay. Snug the 10 back up. See if this thing's gonna leak. Yeah, it's leaking. Boy, it's really leaking. So the gaskets, the gasket may be shot, or I put it on crooked. So I don't think it poured out this much before. I could take my air gun and try to blast some air around the gasket. Maybe there's some crap up here on the bowl gasket. Or who knows, there may be not a gasket in place. I'm just going to put the nut on, try it. If it doesn't do anything, we're going to come back to this. At least it gives us a starting point. It just lets us know we got potential. I don't know, something's going on here. Yeah, something's going on. My bowl isn't seating properly. Something's in the way. Is it the pin from the float? Maybe. Did I knock that out of position? Could be. Okay, let me get that evened up. You know, that might be it. Brotherhood of the Brown just went by. He didn't stop and bring me that Turo cable. I'm kind of upset with the Brown today. It is Christmas, however. They're really busy delivering small parcels at a reasonable price. Brotherhood of the Brown. Okay, I think that was my issue. Turn the fuel on, no dripping. So that's what it was. The pin for the float was off-centered, hitting the bowl. Okay, let me get up there and pull on this fine-looking 2013 turd. Okay, let's start over again. Okay, still no leaking. Let me pull on it. At least we got the bag. And the bag is empty. Usually I get a full bag of junk. This one's empty this time around. Nothing. We got gumminess in the jets. That's the story here. This will be a good candidate for an ultrasonic clean on this carburetor. Start and stall. I kind of moved the smart drive control down to try to see if the wheels would engage. They did not engage, so, but maybe I was not fast enough with the handle. So here's that Michigan rust I was mentioning. Was this near a pool? That's what you see with metal that's been near a pool. Chlorine or salt. Could be near water softener. They use salt as well. Chlorine or salt will destroy metal. Okay, thanks for coming out. This was unexciting. At least we got spark. We're down to carburation on the HRR2169VKA. Anyway, GCV 160, the twin blade 3-in-1 system. Let me turn this over with one hand. See if the deck is as bad underneath. No, it's not as rusty as this right here. Surface rust mainly, it looks like. Blades not bad, a little bit of an edge. Belt's in place, so it needs some work. $20, let me know what you think. And I didn't have to put a coil on it, just cleaned it up and we got spark. Okay, I'm calling this one done. Tip your waitress and wait staff. I'll order parts for the Snapper, the 86, and just clean this Honda up. Have a good day. Thanks for coming out. Come back and see me.